everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon, and I'm back today with the full cast and crew of the Larkspur sequence for yet another fantastic episode in this game of mystery and intrigue. So let's go around the cast and crew, let's figure out who we are and who we're playing. And let's start with Metamancer, our MC for tonight. Meta, how are you doing?
Hello, Will. I'm doing good, thanks. Hi guys, I'm Metamancer. I am a tabletop roleplay streamer and roleplay streamer in general. You can find me on twitch.tv/Metamancer or on Twitter at @TheMetamancer. I'm excited to get us into this game. We always seem to leave on interesting, intriguing notes of mystery, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Absolutely, great stuff. We also have with us Anna tonight. Anna, how you doing?
Hello, doing well. I'm going to be playing Lina Ridley. She is a human. Yeah, I'm usually like barbarian something. But yeah, she is a human that exists in this world, City of Mist world. And she is an owner of a coffee shop. Support small businesses, please. And yeah, she has a raven with her. Which is weird.
Yeah. I definitely want to know more about why the hell you have a raven with you. That's going to be interesting. Great stuff. We also have with us Tommy tonight. Tommy, what's up, dude?
Not much. Just this Thursday game. Super excited to get back into it. It always goes by way too fast. I will be playing the super awesome, super extra Shiyu, the K-pop boy of the group. Philanthropist, son of a wealthy family in the influential family in the city, black sheep of the family. Super excited to get back in.
Great stuff, and we also have Daddy Sheepdog with us tonight. Sheepy, how you doing?
Hey guys, I'm Sheepdog. I'm doing good. I play Jack Fantastic, the extraordinary, amazing, what's it called? Stunt double for Jean-Claude Van Damme, obviously. And my aim tonight is to not smolder or roll terribly.
At least one of those things will happen. Great stuff. As for myself, I'll be playing Russell Gibbs, the cop on the beat, who is trying to get this ragtag group together to try and find out who murdered this girl, Hopper, figure out how she died, and bring some goddamn justice to the City of Mist. Speaking of City of Mist, we are sponsored by City of Mist. Big hard book right here. That got a little bit more sexual than I first intended. But hey, check out City of Mist. You can go to the site cityofmist.co and you can check out all the beautiful PDFs and of course hardbacks. There is also the starter set I have lying around here somewhere, which I have been using to murder spiders with recently as well. Usually the smaller brand of spiders that my white dwarf isn't quite ready to get. But check it out, it's a lot of fun. And you could play your own mysterious games, but the best way to know if you like City of Mist is to stick around and watch the show. Speaking of which, we're also sponsored by Fantasy Grounds and Wayland Games. Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice, where all of the images and roles and tokens that you see throughout the game are from, and Wayland Games, where you can get all of your miniature needs. They sell Warhammer, 40k, D&D stuff, D&D swag, all at 20% off, so go check out the sponsors for the show. You guys can interact with today's game, of course. If you haven't followed yet, hit the follow button and join us. 20 followers, you guys get to decide what happens next in our campaign. Also, here is the tweet for you guys, which causes another viewer decision at 20 retweets. And of course, you can donate to affect the game as well by giving players nat 1s, nat 20s, and wild magic surges, and a whole lot of worse things as well if you want. But let's dive into today's game. Let's do this thing. And I'll hand over to our MC Metamancer to talk us through what happened last week on the show and to take us into this episode of the Larkspur sequence.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, guys. So last week, our ragtag crew made their way down the rabbit hole. And when they emerged, they saw a tavern. But the tavern was not like one from their normal world. It was very nature-esque and something very strange and different about it. The individual who owns this tavern, he was also a little different and had some abilities that he openly displayed, like making strange forest nymphs come out of anywhere and start tending bar for him as he discussed these strange happenings with you. You guys kind of dove deep into what was happening around you, having only been, as he referred to as, newly awoken, so to speak, and you guys not knowing what that actually means, further inquired with other individuals in the tavern as well. There's some strangeness that happened there. You encountered a woman that was of significant beauty, being tended to by many of the other men at the bar at this tavern, and she alluded to some interesting forms of information, but didn't really give you any new leads yet. And simultaneously, we had Jack. Unfortunately, his smoldering looks and glances at the more book-inclined individual at the tavern did not work, and so he walked away empty-handed. All the while, Russell and Lina were kind of looking around to see if there was somebody more subtle or looking around, because they had been inquiring to find a particular individual who was referred to quite a few times. Unfortunately, Russell either angered the floors or something else, which whispered death threats and such to him during this process. And so they did manage to actually find somebody by the name of Robin and Robin, two individuals who were mostly cloaked and not very featured, but they became kind of informants for Russell as he created a deal with them. In the process of all of this, again, still looking for their true individual, which was the I think we called them. What was his name? Hold on. Let me look at it. Rolf.
Rolf.
It was Rolf. Yeah, Rolf Weber. And he was not, unfortunately, at the tavern, though. You want to kind of find out more because he may have information about Hopper, which you guys are still looking for details on. And as you were leaving the tavern, you emerged back through the rabbit hole and regained your true forms of your human skins, so to speak, as the strange myths and powers kind of faded back into the distance away from your visions. And on your way out, there was a man and much thick mist again in the alleyway as you're leaving, giving Lina specifically a very uneasy and a feeling that she remembered from some time ago. And that's where we're going to jump back into everything, as we're going to do something called a flashback in the City of Mist. It is a gameplay mechanic. Flashback is very simple. It's a retelling of a scene by one of the players. And so we're going to go back to that moment when Lina witnessed something that gave her the exact same feeling, almost like she was being watched. Please take it away for us.
Sure, yeah. So it all started when Lina was going home after a very long night of, paperwork and all this stuff. So she locks up her little shop. She puts on her hood and she starts walking home. It's very, very dark. It's very cold. And as she's passing this alleyway that always right before her house or her loft, she notices that there's a loud yell. And then she stops right before she actually passes it. So she kind of looks around and she peeks into this alleyway, and she sees a cloaked figure stabbing this younger man, but not with just any knife or anything. It looks like it's a knife, but then his hand actually turns into this very dark purplish, somewhat smoky, kind of think of it like a necromancer, sort of, maybe. I don't know. Something stabbing him. And at this, she just kind of stops. She goes back a little bit, and then she calls 911. Since there's nobody else around, she'll just kind of go back to her coffee shop and just kind of try to regain some sort of sanity that she lost by seeing that, because that's very shocking to anybody that wouldn't really see that every day, of course. And as she does, the police come. They don't find anything but the body, and they take her in for questioning. So there, she's asked what she saw, and she doesn't really want to say that she saw kind of like this foggy hand knife, because that sounds crazy, and maybe that's not what she saw. So she will definitely say that she saw a man getting stabbed by a guy in a hood. And after that, when she goes back home that night, she gets this sort of feeling that she's being watched. And as she turns around, before she goes into her loft, she sees this hooded cloak. And then he disappears.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
So thank you for the flashback scene. I'll give you guys all opportunities to do different flashback scenes as the story progresses for each of you guys. If at any time you guys are like, this is going to trigger a flashback, please feel free to be like, hey, I have a flashback I want to do. 100% open. Again, I know I'm explaining things, but we're all learning the system here. So at any time, a player can initiate a montage or a flashback as long as it's appropriate to the timing of what's happening. So, all right, awesome. So let's bring us back to the present time, which is you guys staring down this alleyway as Lina is almost lost in a gaze, looking down the darkness and the mist that's there. The rest of you guys, as you were making your way, notice that she stopped dead in her tracks as this happens. And you do also notice this mist, but you only get a faint glance at this hooded figure before it's almost as if the mist just kind of wipes it away. It fades into nothingness. And the mist then starts to clear just a tiny bit, enough as it starts to recede back, almost like it's being sucked in with a vacuum. And the alley begins to clear a little bit more, and then a little bit more. And when it's all gone, there's no one standing there. It's an empty alleyway. So you guys are all around Lina, who is seemingly entranced by nothing.
Lina, you okay?
Did you guys not see this?
No.
I'm sorry. I'm probably just saying things after that weird place. that we were at.
Perhaps I should inspect your eyes, give you a little checkup.
Okay, that's
I think I'll
creepy.
be okay. Thank you, Doc.
I aim to please.
Do you? Okay. Remind Will where we were headed, because I think Russell would probably want to get there.
Oh. I think you guys were all like going home for the night. I think this was like okay, we got what we could, and it's like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something like that, and yeah. Unless you guys have anything else that you wanted to do while you're out.
I think Mr. Yu was going to take you home, so I'll be seeing you guys.
Yes, it is late.
Yeah.
Make sure you all get 8 hours sleep for the body to rest properly. If you don't get enough REM sleep, it's hardly worth sleeping at all.
Do we ever exchange phone numbers? Like, do I have all you guys' phone numbers?
You tell me. Yeah, you tell me.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
can
I've had
give you
any.
my pager.
A
Give you my
pager?
fax.
People still use them?
I mean, Detective Gibbs. I know you have all of our numbers since you like took all our information earlier.
Yeah, you guys can have my number. Myself.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. You know, with all this weird stuff happening, you know, it'd be good to have you on the line just in case. Things have been kind of weird.
Maybe we can have a group chat going on. You know?
Oh, sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, I grabbed your phone and I put my phone number in there.
Aren't we having a group chat right now?
It's
Anyone?
like through text messages, you know? Do you have a smartphone?
No, it's terribly bad for you, all that time looking at a screen.
Okay.
Maybe
Do you not look
Mr.
at
Shaw.
screens?
Do any of you guys have Line?
Let's not linger on
Line
this
chat.
too much.
Or WhatsApp?
No. No.
WeChat?
Gibbs still has like Kick or some shit.
Twitter? You could follow me all at Twitter.
Here, let me give you my QR code.
Follow me on Twitch.
Put me on Twitch.tv.
IRL stream coffee making. It's great.
Yeah.
I do have a Tumblr account if you want to follow.
I have a Zinc
Tumblr's a
account.
dead medium. I don't know anyone who still uses that.
Well, I've got a good MySpace.
You can follow my
Another
blog.
dead
It's
medium.
getting really good.
I have no idea what any of you are talking about.
Bebo? Anyone?
You know, the
Okay.
next thing you're gonna say, Gibbs, is we could exchange AIM usernames.
God.
MSN? Hotmail?
ICQ.
Oh man, Gibbs, when was the last time you turned on a computer, man? That's been dead for a while.
AOL Mail? Come on.
Well,
We
I think
exchange
I
numbers.
would exchange. Give everybody my number.
Yeah, let's just exchange
I'll give
numbers
you my
here.
email
That-
address.
Sounds like a good idea.
Gibbs signs all of his texts.
Oh God. All right. So everyone's gonna. I think I'm just gonna fast forward here, unless there's anything really
I had
important you
one-
guys want to play out.
I had one thing I wanted to do as because Shiyu had offered to walk Lina home that night.
Okay. Cool. Let's do that.
And so as we're, after we've left the group for a couple minutes, Shiyu's been sort of just chatting, talking and what a weird night, sort of making small talk. He's still in his pretty fantastic band uniform or military uniform, purple military uniform. And he's like, after about 5 minutes, he sort of turns to Lina and it's like, do you really not want to find out what's going on? Like, do you really want to not find out what you are?
Part of me does, I guess, but I just expected to live a normal life,
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah, I mean, I see.
Sometimes you don't always want to be more than normal. I
guess
just
so.
wanted to say that I was talking to that lady in there, Valanis, and I was talking to her about sort of what this is and what we're doing, and she mentioned that there are, you can forget who this other personality is. She wasn't exactly sure, but she said if you don't embrace it, if you don't let it happen, it might go away eventually. So if you didn't want to find out what this is, you have the option of ignoring it.
I mean,
Just thought I'd let you know.
It's gonna be a little bit hard ignoring that now that I found out about this. Because what if I just freak out over something and then this thing comes out? What if I hurt somebody that is innocent? I don't want that to happen.
I mean, I don't know the specifics of it, but she made it sound like you could make it go away permanently. Just forget about it completely. I don't know how it works, so I just thought I'd let you know that doesn't seem like it's permanent.
it'd be something to look into.
Yeah.
But I just want to figure out what's going on.
But man, did you see Gibbs as that old lady? Oh man, that was hilarious.
That's probably not his best look.
Probably not. Although I mean, it might almost be an improvement on the glower. Like
Yeah.
he could do with less glaring at people.
I think so. Or even
Jack,
Jack.
on the other hand, he needs to stop smoldering so much. That's not working out for him.
Mm-mm.
Like
Not at
I
all.
think it works in certain situations, but like can't be all the time.
No, definitely needs to tone it down.
Yeah.
But can I?
That's the. Go ahead.
Okay, no. Can I ask? Can I tell you something? I feel like I'm
Sure, anything.
the closest to you than any of the rest, but
As can be said for a fair group of strangers for the most part.
yeah. Well, because also the coffee thing and the hair tips.
Yeah. Yes.
There's, seeing as we just found out what we were, there was something that I saw back there, and it was this hooded figure that gave me a very uneasy feeling. And
Did you see anything
I'll
else?
just tell you, that was all, at least right now. But I mean, I'm just telling you because if anything happens, I want to let you
Are
know.
you worried something's going to happen to you? I mean, I'm sure Gibbs could get you like a police guard outside your house if you're worried, or.
I think I'll be okay. I don't think it's very necessary. But I just want to let somebody know, because I know Chloe would freak out and she would think I'm crazy. British people. I love you.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
well, I mean, if you need anything, you've got all of our numbers, and
Yeah, appreciate it.
yeah, let us know.
I will. I'm only throwing shade to my fake BFF Chloe that's British, okay? Not everybody else. I love you, all of you. Especially my boyfriend. But I appreciate it, thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks for walking me home.
Yeah. No problem. I mean,
Yeah.
it's late out, and someone was murdered at your workplace.
Yeah, I
Should probably be thinking about safety. Someone was murdered at your workplace.
yes, I'm still worried about it. Thank you for bringing it up like that.
Yeah, I'm really amazed. Gibbs actually didn't leave you with a police escort.
Yeah, actually, that
But,
makes
it was a
sense.
pretty strange night. But yeah. Unless you have anything else to say, she was pretty much gonna drop you off, and then
I'd
call an
probably give
Uber.
him a hug. Yeah,
He
I'd give
will
him a
hug
hug.
you back.
Yeah,
And she gets an Uber.
the future is now.
Oh yeah. All right, cool. So, good scene. Anybody else want to do anything for this night of scene at the very end of the day kind of deal? Well, technically it's the next day, but semantics.
The only thing that Gibbs will do is so late that he'd have called up a couple of hours ago to his wife, telling her that he was going to be back in late and not stay up. So he goes back in and he goes into the fridge and gets a plate of food that she's left out, puts it in the microwave, eats some of it, and then goes in, kisses his kids on the head as they are asleep, and then just slumps into bed with all of his clothes on.
All right.
Standard routine for
Anybody?
Gibbs.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It gives us a little character insight. Anybody else?
In contrast, Dr. Shaw will get in, take off his parade uniform, make sure it's brushed down, hanging on the hammock perfectly. Perhaps he'll put the trousers back in the trouser press before he puts them away. Then he'll prepare his outfit for the next day also, before getting a fresh glass of water from a bottle, and getting ready for bed.
I love how you didn't specify that it's in your bed, so I just kind of imagined that you were sleeping next to Gibbs.
My question is, does Jack have a hung portrait of Jean-Claude Van Damme on his wall?
It's actually on his ceiling. Like, he stares. He needs to get into character when he goes into work. So, like, he visualizes.
That's the first thing that he sees.
Yeah,
when he opens his eyes.
The first thing he sees when he goes to bed, and the first thing he sees in the morning. And he like looks, and he gets into character. He gets the accent going. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Like the eyeballs are like light bulbs.
But Jack does spend the night for probably an hour or so in the mirror, making sure he doesn't have any wrinkles. Just like going over his face, like looking for crow's feet and stuff. And then before he goes to bed, he's going to get out a bottle of sugar-free light kale beer and just try and see if he can absorb it in any way.
Oops.
Kale
So he's
beer?
just gonna set it on the table and stare at it, like, like try and figure out how it works before he goes to bed.
That's great.
Gross.
Awesome. Great scenes, guys. Fantastic. Okay, so the morning rolls around. Lina, you do not have a restful sleep. The feeling that you got from the alley, and on top of the murder that happened right by your own place of business, combined with all the other stress, you just did not have a restful night of sleep. You feel kind of a little haunted by the previous day and everything that's happened, and then the reemergence of what you had witnessed as well, just coming back and being very prevalent on top of the other kind of strange happenings. So just a lot of questions, not a lot of answers at this point. So Gibbs, you probably don't sleep so great anyway most nights, so you're probably extra exhausted because you had to be out as late as you were. And so I'm gonna let you guys start your opening scene days of, like, if there's anything that you want to do. So this is going to be, everybody's got downtime. This is a montage moments. So if anybody wants to do anything from the montages, like if you want to do maybe your own mythos exploration, now that you've gotten a little glimpse into that, we can ask the mystery question and then find some kind of answers. So again, back to this whole thing is in the moves list, there's a list of things that you can do in downtime. So if you guys want to take a look at that real quick, glance it over, let me know who wants to do which scenes, and then we will go from there. Obviously, at some point, we'll all need to bring you guys back together, but I want to give you guys an opportunity to explore either the case or the mythos, or even your own like day-to-day jobs if you want to, focus on your identity versus your mythos, for example. So I'm gonna kind of leave it open to the table at this point, and you guys let me know who wants to do what. And all I see is just a bunch of shenanigans about Kale and chat, so that's cool.
I want to explore that, yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Gibbs might... You know what? I don't think Gibbs is focused enough on his mythos. I think he's in denial about it.
Okay.
Because it's something that he can't really explain to his wife and kids. And it's something that he doesn't really necessarily want at this point either, because he doesn't understand it. So I think he would be preparing for the next activity. He rarely takes time to recover from the last one. So he's going to check in on the case, how that's going at the station, and to see if there's anything, not supernatural that his colleagues have been working on. However, he's going to be a a little bit more wary, because something that has occurred to Gibbs is that there could be people with these same powers within the police force as well. And something that he's struggled with is bringing people to justice, because they always seem to avoid, the law. And often that seems like it's stopped by, either bureaucracy or, something else that he can't quite put his finger on. So he's going to be a little bit careful about who he's trusting within his own police force, and starting to trust his party more than his former colleagues.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So you're going to work the case. So the process for that is you're going to tell me what you're doing specifically, or you can ask me 3 specific pointed questions, and I will give you 3 clues that you could have those questions answered through the methods that you explain. So if you're like going through police reports or database, etc., that kind of thing, or you could visit the morgue and have a scene to get information about the body if it's been autopsied. Like any of those options are available.
I think he'd want to get the autopsy just to confirm, how she died, and if there are chemicals that we can, confirm were used to her death.
Definitely. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're going to go into work, go down to the morgue and where they've done the autopsy. The woman is not out, but she's been stored, cold storage, but the mortician, the mortician is there to kind of, or I guess technically the coroner would be doing all this. I'm not really sure, actually, now that I think about it, what the proper procedures. So anyway, but yeah, you have the autopsy report, and let's see. Ask me 3 questions about the autopsy that you really want answered.
Okay. So he would ask, what drugs or compound was used that killed her?
Okay. All right. So the in the autopsy, the chemical substance, they said, appears that there was no foreign drug in her system, but that her endorphin levels were excessively high.
Does the coroner know what that might? I'd ask him the second question. Yeah. What does that indicate?
No, it's not a second question. I'll let you do follow-ups on that, because there'd be these would be in the report. So in the coroner's notes and stuff regarding that specifically, they noted that it's possible that there was a chemical used, but it's already left the system, and so there's no trace of it. Or alternatively, she was given the a synthetic version of some endorphin that appears to be the same as the human body produces, and so it could have elevated it that way.
Right.
Alternatively, and this is more of a personal side note versus on a post-it note, not on the actual report, is basically the coroner is wondering if it's possible to be too happy and die of happiness. And it's a very silly note, but it's one of those things that kind of sticks out. You're like, why? That's a weird observation kind of thing. So that would be the most you get out of the drug compound bit. They did send off the blood for a more in detailed tox report, to get other things, but the stuff that they normally test for did not come back with any results that would lead to suggest she actually did OD.
Okay. Second question then. Does she have a history of drug abuse that's clear in her, system, whether or not she's got, marks on her arms, or if she's, her body was in such a state that it looked like she probably had abused substances before?
The coroner notes that the body, the woman herself, she was actually extremely healthy. She was fit. It did not appear that she was a drug abuser of any kind. There were no marks as far as injections go, and there was no damage to any of the organs that would be present normally in those types of things, including even her liver did not have any signs of alcohol abuse or anything like that. So as far as her body goes, she took very good care of herself. She was well fed, as in nutrition, so she didn't have an issue with getting food. so there was no issue of like maybe homelessness
Right.
there or anything like that. So yeah, very
Interesting.
counter to what you guys saw in the alley.
Yes, yeah. Okay. And we had a lead that she had been stored in some kind of cold place. Do they know how long she might have been there? You know, if there's like nerve damage, that she was there for a long time, or is it just a recent sort of short stay?
So the person noted that you had inquired about that before, and in the autopsy, there was absolutely no signs of any cold storage whatsoever. No indications on the body, the tissue, nothing.
Very interesting. Okay. Well, that is my 3 questions. So Gibbs will, going to suck in his teeth. Not quite exactly what he was hoping to hear, but this further, confirms to Gibbs that there are things that other people can't see, and maybe that only he can see. So whether or not he believes that fully, he will send a message in the group chat to give these updates to everyone. And it's something like endorphin levels very high, no history of substance abuse, no foreign drug found in system, no signs of cold storage. What the fuck? Gibbs.
Okay. Awesome. All right, cool. So yeah, you can just have that there for your assaults. Anybody else want to go next?
For exploring your mythos, it talks about which mystery are you exploring? Now, does that mean you have to do something that's related to the mystery of that you have written down for your mythos, or since we're like early on, can it just be trying to figure out more, or like
which particular what's your mystery? What's the question that you have?
My
What the hell,
question. My question is, how will I judge their souls?
Okay.
Jesus
Let's
fucking Christ.
explore that. What would Shiyu do to like either meditate on this, or like how would he go about thinking through that particular question when he's thinking about what he's experienced in the last 24 hours from the mythos perspective?
I mean, I feel like he's a bit conflicted on this case specifically, because he actually does not like. If there's one like sort of person that he doesn't like, it's drug makers and drug dealers. Because he has very personal experience with losing someone to drugs.
Okay.
And so I think he's trying, but at the same time, this person's dead. Did they deserve that? Is that he's like trying to sort of, he's probably meditating on this after he's gone through his I think actually he's meditating on this while he is doing his morning gardening routine.
Okay.
And so he's just sort of he hasn't heard anything specifically bad about this Hopper person beyond the fact that they made that they created drugs. But he can't really and this is conflicting with his personal self, as he believes that everyone is inherently good.
Okay.
So I think he's probably reflecting on that and sort of, and he's thought about he has the ability to influence people's emotions. Could he change who a person is?
Okay.
Like through that? And that's sort of his morning reflection.
Okay. No, that's
I
good.
think I think he would also like, just sort of to explore a bit more about this, like what's going on, he would call his sister,
Okay.
Sung Ho, and I think he would want to ask her a couple questions.
Okay. What do you think he inquires the most about, or like what does he focus on?
He focused on like have there been like any like strange occurrences that, even though they were explained, like they didn't quite make sense? Because like she's very much a sort of researcher, engineer type person. So he's like, if she was made aware of anything that was strange and didn't quite make sense when explained why it happened, she would be the one to be sort of playing, like trying to figure out why.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, those are good. So I would say go ahead and mark attention to that theme, your expression theme. Basically, the way you guys want to do this is, if you're doing a mythos or even the logos exploration there, where you're giving attention to those things, we explore kind of these questions that you might have about yourself or who you are, or what you could be. And then as you continue to grow, when you have a moment of evolution, or even when you've marked the 3 attention to a theme, your next, your quote, improvement to that theme helps kind of add to the answer to that question. So it's a build-up process. It's not like you immediately get the answer. So it's going to be very much that internal reflection and looking really inward and deep, especially when it comes to your mythos, because you spend so much more time with your logos of yourself. And so there are other places you guys can probably go to explore that more, like going back to the tavern, for example, and really opening up to your mythos if that's something your character is interested in doing. So just let me know when you want to do those types of things, and we'll continue down that path. All right, who is next?
So I guess Shaw would mainly try to recover from the last activity, the loud noises of the club. You know, they gave him some disadvantages. They threw him off a little bit when he was trying to talk to people, and he'll be taking some time to try and not have nightmares about explosions and death and those sort of things. So he'd be very routinely, like if he wakes up in the night, be like, get up, make himself a fresh glass of water, perhaps treat himself to a warm milk.
Okay.
And then try and go back to bed once more.
Okay, that works. Is there anything else you wanted to do in exploration there? Recovering from your previous activity is usually to allow you to reduce like status effects. I know that there was one that I had on you guys, but that was a story tag. So you don't have to worry about that now. That's like gone because that scene is over. So if you guys have any effects, other than if you're like physically hurt, you guys can drop those. Go ahead.
Yeah, didn't I get an effect from the encounter with the bouncer?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, you did. I think you did. I don't remember what it's called. I have to look if I wrote it down or not.
Like intimidated or something like that.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, you basically kind of hit the the reset button, so to speak, and have that. Okay, cool, awesome. Who is next? Also, you guys don't have to do montages. I'm just giving you the opportunity. If you want to like pass, you can just say pass.
I think Jack is going to be... He's intrigued by this whole possible powers superhero thing, and he really wants to know what's going on there. I was wondering, does the work the case? Because part of what we've been doing is kind of trying to figure out about the whole superpowers thing. Does work the case count towards that, or would that more be explore your mythos?
That would be exploring your mythos because it's very specific to your particular power set.
Yeah.
If you guys were investigating somebody who had powers potentially, then yes, that could potentially apply. But in this particular case, no.
Well, I couldn't figure out how to do the explore your mythos in regards
Okay.
to the mystery identity.
So what was the question? Let me look it up. If you don't want to share, if you guys don't want to share, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, the question's what is my legacy?
Okay. Okay. What would Jack be doing as he's kind of pondering this question? What is his process?
He's got a couple of pieces of information about like weird things that have happened to him. One of which is his toenail regrowing, possible regeneration.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he doesn't want to cause any lasting scars or anything, just in case. So I imagine he'd probably just pinprick his finger or something with a knife, and just sit there and wait and see if it magically, Wolverine heals back and the blood goes back in his finger or something.
Okay.
And the other one is the getting really high without actually, taking drugs, ingesting. So I don't know if he'd know anywhere to go. I mean, I'm sure there are drunk people, but I don't think it really. I think what Jack would probably do is wander off to a bar or a bar in the afternoon and just sit there waiting to get drunk. But it's probably not very full or anything, so I imagine that wouldn't work. But
yeah. Okay.
So that's what he's doing. He's got a day off. They're not filming today, so he's sitting at a bar with a pricked finger and waiting to get drunk.
All right. Yeah. Cool. Go ahead and mark attention. All right. Fantastic.
And that's to the mythos, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Last but not least, did you want to do a scene, Anna, with Lina?
Yes, I think my character would. So she'll wake up in the morning, very, very tired. She didn't sleep well. And she's just going to sit there on the bed with her knees to her chest and just kind of be somewhat in shock about what happened last night. And then just look at her hands. And then... So superheroes are real. I mean... To be honest, I'm more of a Spider-Man fan than whatever this is, but okay. And then she'll do this and see if anything would come out.
Okay.
And I don't think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think anything would come out, but if it does, I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's up to you or up to me to do that.
It's up to you. This is your story, and just gonna help facilitate it.
Yeah.
But what is the question that you're I'm guessing you're doing exploring your mythos. So what is the question that what is your mystery?
I guess if my power would come out and if it's good or bad.
So am I good or evil kind of deal?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you're gonna probably be there for a little bit. Again, it's very much one of those things that you have to explore over time. But in this scenario, do you think that something would happen for her, as far as a power manifestation?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
For the sake of stuff.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, but she'll just feel I'm going crazy. What am I doing? And then she'll get ready for her day. She'll go down to the coffee shop. She'll grab a bunch of pastries, and then she'll go to the women's homeless center and just hand them out to whoever's there, and then just go back to work.
Okay.
And try to be as sane as possible.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. Go ahead and mark attention to your adaptation, Beanbug. All right, guys. So those were our montages. Gibbs sent everybody a group message except for Shaw, who doesn't have a smartphone, so he got like a beep on his phone, but he doesn't know what it does. So I guess
I text his secretary.
Good idea. That's probably yeah. Shaw, your secretary is like Detective Gibbs is. He wants to talk to you.
Yeah. Yes, I suspected that wasn't over. So I guess he's probably we went forward, so he's in the surgery, I guess, and he'll probably ask if there's any any pressing matters here. Is anyone in need of a knife right now?
She kind of like shakes her head, and then you can tell that she's uncomfortable because she has to tell you something, but she doesn't want to. You got this an invitation from Dr. John Lambert. He's holding an event and for the charity, and he invited you. Okay, I know this.
It's okay, Pamela. It's okay. Just tear it up and put it in the bin, and we won't talk of it anymore.
Are you sure? I mean, I have to tell him it's an RSVP, so.
Yes, don't respond.
Okay. Do you need me to do anything else today before the end of the day?
No, I guess not. If it seems to be a quiet day, perhaps you could do something to do with PR, maybe tidy up a little bit, I don't know. What do you normally do when I'm away on business trips?
I just read books, mostly.
Education. Very commendable.
Yes.
Perhaps one day you could be a nurse.
They're not really educational books, but I guess depends on how you look at it.
I see.
Anyway, okay, well, okay, I'll just throw this out then. Not RSVP.
Yes, that gives me a small measure of pleasure.
Wouldn't it be better if you went and then you showed him how you're doing, that you're doing well, and that's better than ignoring the problem. Not that I would know.
Thank you, Pamela. I will consider it. Perhaps don't quite tear it up just yet.
Okay. She looks gleefully happy at this slight change in Dr. Shaw's attitude, and she kind of goes back and sits at her desk and opens up a book with a very unusual book cover that she then proceeds to cover up with her hand.
The Virgin...
Mary, the Virgin Mary.
That's definitely what it is.
Well, I'm going to go out for a couple of hours then.
Okay. I'll take your messages and do the whole secretary thing.
Yes, I have my pager. It doesn't seem to
Okay.
beep very often anymore. I think you're about the only
Do you want me
person
to
who
test
uses
it?
it.
Oh, okay.
That would be grand, yes. I would enjoy that.
I'll page you right now. You get the pager goes off.
Yeah,
Is it working?
It does indeed work.
Okay.
Well done.
Do you want me to
Pamela.
just page you randomly to make you look important and stuff? Because I can do that.
Oh, no. Not at the moment. Perhaps in future. Perhaps if we do decide to go to this gala.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay. I'll have a
Thank you.
good outing, Dr. Shaw.
Enjoy your book. And he
She
just
blushes and then just kind of brings her eyes back down to the book. All right. Very nice. So where is everyone going? Everybody else got the group text. Gibbs, did you indicate where or when you guys were going to be meeting?
Sure, we could meet at a bar, or actually no, let's meet at Lina's coffee house, because that can be like a home hub. We do have a viewer decision actually, Meta, so it's going to be a good point actually.
All right, very cool. Okay. I have a couple ideas, but I want to see how the next scene plays out, so we'll do that. And you guys arrive at Lina's coffee shop, The Mist. Oh wait, no, it's Misty's, right? What's it called? I just forgot. I'm looking for the page now.
I wrote down the...
I have too many notes. I think it was The Mist as well, but
Pretty sure.
it was The Mist. I was right the first time. Stop
Yeah, Misty-
second-guessing yourself. All right,
Happens.
cool.
I wrote down Misty Cafe.
All right, guys. The worst at notes. Lina, people start arriving. You're obviously expecting them at this point since you got the group text message. Chloe's gotten things taken care of at the bar, so you can kind of take care of what you need to as well. And who arrives when? What order? What's going on? Describe to me where you guys are and what you're doing. Nice.
Oh, there's voices.
No, that's just you. That's just you. I can't hear anything.
It's in your head. It doesn't. The floors are talking to me. Gibbs will be there. I guess it's probably like afternoon sort of time at this point once we've done our morning scene. So
Yes.
so Gibbs will rock up in his own car and grab a black coffee, no sugar, and just be pouring over, sitting at a table, pouring over the case notes from the mortician or coroner's report.
Yeah. Okay.
You are late, Gibbs.
Yeah, I've been kind of busy getting all these reports in.
Okay,
I also had to drop off my kids at school. It's kind of busy.
you don't
trying
have
to
to
keep on
justify yourself to me. I'm just making a point.
Yeah, well, next time you don't need to, because I'm busy. How is everyone?
get
What do you
yourself-
guys think? Yep.
A secretary.
I don't think the force are going to pay for that. But I did speak with your secretary this morning, Pamela. She's an interesting girl.
Is she?
That's right. Yeah. No, she told me a lot of interesting things. Actually.
She has a vivid imagination, I imagine.
Yeah. We got talking about books because I'm reading this one at the moment that my wife gave to me. She's part of a book club, and I think Pamela goes to the same one. And anyway.
Ah, fascinating.
No. But more interesting is this coroner's report here. And I don't know if everyone's there at this point, if we're waiting for others.
She's
Yeah, I
definitely
would-
a little bit late.
I would come by with like drinks for you guys, a tea for the duck, and then a black coffee for Gibbs, and then is Jack there?
Jack's probably like an hour late.
Oh,
Okay, she was not that late. She was like 10 minutes late.
Jack's like properly late.
Yeah.
And he'll get the usual
yeah, the kale.
ale coffee and a bran muffin. And a bran muffin.
Yep.
Ancient oats.
Tell me,
I don't wanna
was this tea made with distilled water?
Yes. No.
Yeah. No.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Just, it'll be fine, Doc. Just drink your tea.
So yes.
Just messing with him to see what his reaction would be.
One cannot be too cautious of strange chemicals abroad.
True enough.
Were I
Hey,
to poison the water, I would test it on a small sample in an alleyway first, too. Not that I would do such a thing.
why would anyone? Okay, I don't want to know.
It's the best water. It's the best tea, I promise.
Yeah, sure, it's real nice. Hey, Jack, what took you so long?
I was busy. You know, busy.
What?
What
I was
did
working
you
out.
do?
I went to a bar. I wanted to figure out what the hell's going on with this whole I don't drink but I get drunk anyway thing.
Yeah, that seems really important. Glad you looked into that.
Yeah. Nothing happens.
Right, so basically you just went to a bar.
Scientifically.
Okay, well, here's the report. Hopefully you guys saw my text message. It is kind of weird. There's no foreign drugs in her system. Her endorphin levels are real high. There was a weird note that the coroner made, which was, "Can you die of happiness?" She had endorphins levels were so high, like she was really happy, and maybe she died from that. I don't know. But there's no history of substance abuse, so she's not a druggie, despite what we saw. And they said that there's no signs of any kind of cold storage. So basically everything that we saw, they didn't see. Well, either that is that they just can't see the weird shit going on like we can. Like this whole mist stuff that that guy was talking about. Or something worse. Let's just say it's the mist for now. So I've got nothing. Lina, did you bring the that watch and the that other stuff that you had?
Yeah, it's the stuffed animals in the back, but I did bring the watch, and she'll take it out of her pocket and hand it over.
Is there anything strike me about it?
Yeah, it's the same thing that Lina noticed, but the watch itself is definitely like custom made or some kind of a family heirloom, because it doesn't appear to be, the typical cookie cutter watch. And the backing of it has these this opening, almost like a partial cutout from the circle that allows what looks like a sun or a moon to be showing as like part of the gears work. So like as it cycles around, it shows if it's day or night, kind of deal. Obviously it's not working because it was broken, but it stopped at exactly midnight based on the fact that the moon is showing over the sun instead of the other way around.
Okay. Well, that's weird. But as far as I can tell, the 2 wild magic surges for Lina, by the way. Beautiful.
Oh boy.
But give us as far as I can tell, the coroners haven't got anything else for us. We've got a couple of items lying around. No one will really talk to us. And we got this weird power shit going on. So I'm a bit stumped right now. You guys got any bright ideas?
We can go visit whoever made this.
What's the status of my pricked finger after like a morning / bit of the afternoon?
Oh, it's completely healed. Like, there's no sign of it there at all.
I pricked my finger this morning, and now it's healed. Does that help?
May I see that?
Yeah. There you go. Look.
And so Shaw will take his finger and give it like a good squeeze and see if it's truly healed.
It's fully healed, yeah.
Since this morning, you say?
Yeah. No, it was just kind of like a shallow cut with a knife.
You need to drink more water. You are dehydrated. Your blood is coagulating faster than it should.
Well, then surely there'd be like a scar or something. It doesn't just... It's all fine now.
That's real nice, Jack, but, back to the whole a girl has died thing rather than the tiny prick on your finger this morning that you made.
Well, you just said you had nothing.
Some
This
things,
is
Jack,
something
are
at least.
worse than nothing. No, there's nothing there. Like you said, there's literally nothing there.
Yeah, because it healed. I'm magic, basically.
Yeah, you're magic, Jack.
Do you want to? Should we do it again? I'll do it again.
I would like to, yeah. Do you mind if I do it?
Yeah, sure.
Jam his finger with something that isn't really gonna hurt him, but it's gonna hurt him a little bit.
Where did you get a protractor?
I carry one on me at all times.
Very wise. Unexpected maths can happen.
Let's see. I'll look up Lina's Wild Magic Surges here. 605 from Totally River. Lina can't cross moving water without assistance.
Okay.
Fair enough. Got a vampire. 5859 for Lina. Let's see. You have... Lina has been controlled for years. The agent of the king. Lina has been controlled for years by agents of the king.
Elvis.
Of course. Well,
So we're gonna mulligan the word king on this one, just for lore sake. By agents, there's something else there. We're gonna leave it just agents and remove the word king. So
Do I
agents
know
of
this?
something. You don't know it yet, but you
Okay.
might. That actually works out into something really interesting. So, okay.
So, Gibbs will say, all right. So pretty much we've got a lead on this watch and a stuffed animal. That's what I'm seeing right now. Hopefully those two guys, the Robin guys, will come through on something for me.
I mean, aren't we waiting for who are we waiting for? Rolf. That's right.
Yeah.
Aren't we waiting for him to get in touch with us, possibly?
In theory.
Would one of you guys roll a 2d6 for me? Listen, it can be anybody.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't smolder when you roll.
sorry.
You said that the coroner's report and the general police reports didn't tie up with what we saw. Is it possible that casts doubt on your organization?
Yeah. I think it's fair enough to say that it does. It may not be their fault. It might be that they just can't see the same shit that we can. Like Cam's saying, people just explain it away. There's no reports of anything. either someone's screwing us around and this goes higher up than we know, or Cammy was telling the truth and people just can't see this shit. Either way, we gotta be a bit careful.
Could it be someone at the top is using a ability similar to ours to obscure things?
It's been done before.
The more you
I mean,
know.
police corruption is a thing, right? I'm not above seeing that our organizations have covered things up in the past. The question is why? Who is this girl to anyone else? Seems like she didn't really have many connections. She seemed like a loner. Big question for me is, why did she die?
Yes. Why did she die? Perhaps we should perform our own autopsy.
I could probably get the body.
If what Cammy says is true, perhaps eyes such as ours will see something that normal eyes do not.
I like the sound of this. Okay, I can make a call and see if I can get us a chance to look in.
So are you going to, out of curiosity, are you going to steal the body or use your connections to get the body?
Try and use my connections with the coroner or the mortician, pull any strings I can to get us a second viewing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the mortician is one of your kind of contacts anyway, so I'm gonna let you use that story, Ty, if you want to go through that person.
Mhm.
You'll just basically, they'll have to do it at nighttime, essentially, when there's
Okay.
less staff around, kind of not be as suspicious.
Okay, so yeah, I say to the team, look, tonight we can get a viewing. During the day, maybe it's worth looking into this watchmaker. Seems like they're making pretty weird watches.
Should we inspect the big bunny at all? Or should we just throw it away?
See, why not? Is there something in the bunny?
Not that I noticed.
Someone just left this at your door, right?
Yes. It was very hard to ring over.
The fuck they do that? Someone's watching us again.
Well, it happened the first night that we went out. They
So I knew we were already in the case. Is it a
Yeah.
warning? Like, stay back? Don't look into hop any further? I don't know. We taken a look inside of it. Maybe there is like a clue or something. I don't know.
give it a go. If you will follow me.
Yeah.
And I take them
Okay.
to the back
All right.
and not kill them.
All right. Cool. So you guys are there. What are you doing with this bunny? This
Well,
enormously oversized bunny.
here it is. I thought it maybe had some eyes with like video cameras in them, and I didn't find anything. But I mean, I could have totally easily missed something.
Perhaps we should investigate further, and Shaw will produce a scalpel from his pocket.
Do you just carry that around with you all the time?
One never knows when you might need a scalpel.
You know what else one might never know they might need? A cell phone, which we should talk about, Dr. Shaw. We should really get you a cell phone.
I have a pager.
No.
It works. I tested it this morning.
Yeah, from very specific devices. None of us can get in touch with your pager.
Why don't you take down my pager number?
Oh God. Can we just get you a simple a phone is basically a pager, but modern.
I can dim the settings on the pager so that it doesn't hurt my eyes.
You could do the same with the cell phone. You gotta get the right one. It's called the blue light. It's called the blue light setting. Dim blue light.
Okay, Doc, open her up. See what's inside. This is a losing battle.
And you know what? He will open the rabbit up, but he'll try and do it along the seams. He's not a monster. He'll try and cut it open following seams. And...
I don't know. The rabbit hole begs to differ.
He's an organized monster. That's scarier.
As you pop the stitches basically with your scalpel, just a bunch of stuffing just starts falling out because it's been how stuffing is when it's sewn together, it's kind of still packed in. So when you actually start to pop the stitches, it's like the stuffing is just falling out, pouring out of this bunny rabbit as it's slowly basically deflating from the lack of pressure keeping everything in.
Do you have a holdall or a large bin that is empty?
Got some bins out back. Store a body in there.
This is the second white rabbit to be murdered in a number of days.
And so what Shaw will begin to do if no one stops him is drag, when he sees the stuffing's going to go everywhere, he'll begin to drag the rabbit outside. And when he cuts it open, he'll do it one limb at a time, fold the skin, if you will, into piles and put the stuffing into the bin, and he'll continue until the rabbit is empty and completely folded.
Nobody's doing anything.
Is anyone else disturbed by this?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Let him do his thing.
Yeah, I think it's best we don't interrupt him during this. I don't want to become that bunny.
So Dr. Shaw finishes his dismemberment of this stuffed rabbit, and it appears to be completely basic in all ways, stuffing with thread and fabric that holds it all together. The eyes are made out of a plastic clip-in things, the ones that have the backing that secure it to the fabric where the holes are, and same with the nose. The whiskers that are made out of that plasticky stuff.
It's got a label from the store it comes from?
There is actually no label. That is one unique thing, that there is no label.
Huh.
And it does not, after you've finished popping all the seams, it doesn't appear as if the label was cut at really closely or anything. There's no label at all.
I have done a thorough analysis, and the rabbit yields no clues.
Because we just did an autopsy on a stuffed animal.
Yeah, it's okay. It was never alive. I get these things from my daughter Emily all the time. They've always got a little label on them. This one didn't even come with one, so that's kind of weird. All right, Bunny is a dead end. Let's go to the watch place, and then tonight let's head to the station. Take a look at the autopsy for ourselves.
And Shaw will look to Lina and produce a needle and thread. It's a hooked, surgeon's needle. Would you like me to reassemble it for you?
No, thank you. Just put it in the trash.
Rip rabbit.
We should probably burn that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, do we know if it was bought or made or
no
because if it was
label?
bought somewhere?
I don't know.
If you guys
I
want to
mean,
investigate further on that, you can do an investigate roll, and you guys can pool your questions. Basically, ask 3 questions if you succeed, etc. kind of deal.
Could be worth doing.
So tell me who wants to investigate. Might be Shaw with a
I
little
can say
helping
Shaw,
from
probably.
everybody. But,
Yeah. Yeah, Doc, take a look at that. See if there's anything else that comes up. We're running low on leads right now. We can't take anything for granted.
Is there anything in particular you want me to look for?
I don't know if it was handmade.
Perhaps I could use steady hands here as a plus to this roll.
Definitely. I'll look at your sheet as well, just to see if I can help.
You.
Why did you roll with? Oh yeah, you did. Okay, that's not a great roll.
Wow.
It appears to be
smoldering?
professionally made. That's as much as you get from that.
All right.
There's really nothing more to take from this rabbit.
All right. Well, somebody's fucking with us. Somebody's watching Lina. Somebody left us at your place, so they know where you live. Do you want me to put like a detail on your door at night, Lina? Just have someone out there watching. I mean, it's kind of creepy, right? You might have a stalker. Could be that fucking Dylan guy again.
If you are in need of a safe house, I can offer my services. I have a spare room.
I was gonna say, you have a fucking safe house? Okay. Good. Just a room. Just a room.
You're awfully nervous, officer.
Nervous? Yeah, for what you might be getting up to in safe houses. Knowing what I know about you, Doc, but, alright, as long as it's just a room.
Wait, what's he getting up to in safe houses?
You don't want to know.
Yeah, I probably don't.
I think
She
he's
looks at
hiding something away.
the rabbit.
You want someone on your door, Lina?
If possible, this is very weird. Because it does seem like somebody's targeting me. And
I mean, this is an active murder investigation. They died at your place is reasonable enough. I can make a call. See if we can't get a detail on your door.
I'd appreciate that, thank you.
So I'd call up my buddy, my partner in crime, and see if we can't get just someone to watch at night. Lina's door. She's possibly a target in our active murder case.
Yeah.
And also I could say that I want to keep an eye on her as well. So there's probably that.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna make you roll for anything like that. That's pretty customary for what you do anyway. So
Okay.
Witness protection style, not like martial witness protection, but
Yeah.
protective details, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I have a
I'd
question.
get off the phone. Go ahead.
Would Gibbs know about the murder I witnessed years ago?
If he looked up your file, yes.
Okay.
He would know that you came in with a testimony or a witness report, essentially.
I'm going to say he hasn't looked into that. I know he's looked into Shaw, but he hasn't looked into Lina, unless it's something that would just come up from one of my colleagues having found this. But I don't think
It'll probably come up once they get back to you after they've confirmed that they've set up the detail.
Okay.
Because they would have had to have run her name through the system and gotten that information and noted that on her file that she's being protected. That way, other policemen know and that kind of thing.
So would I come away from this phone call with that information, or would that be something that I'd get later on?
You'd get it later on because they would be like, okay, I'll go take care of it, and then they would
yeah.
let you know when it's done.
Yeah, so I'd come back off the phone again and say, okay, that's getting all set up. They're just going to run your name through the system, make sure everything checks out, and should have someone down there tonight.
Thank you.
As long as you didn't kill anybody before, you should be fine.
I promise you I have not killed anybody.
It's good. It's good. Okay, let's head down to this watchmaker place. We got an address for that?
Yep.
Pretty Google Maps.
You guys got it.
Yeah, I do.
Google Maps?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you guys arrive. It's about, I want to say, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is so the watchmaker is downtown. So it's pretty busy at this point in the day. 3 o'clock being like people are like moving around. Some people are either leaving work or we're starting to get the afternoon shifts coming in, and like the retail stores, and so you guys are in like the shopping district essentially. This particular area of downtown definitely has much more intriguing architecture. It's a little bit of an older part of downtown versus the skyscrapers that you guys would normally see. But downtown is definitely that kind of, it's still the hustle and bustle, again, with the neon signs, even though it's not dark yet. You've got the billboard, electronic billboard ads everywhere. There's people walking all the time. I would say like kind of mixed, like between Tokyo and New York, where things are very business side, but there's also a lot of eclectic kind of colorfulness to it. And all of that is kind of mashed together in this area of downtown. And there's a lot of boutique type shops here. So the watchmaker fits right in with everything else. Everything's either like handmade or custom or like special order kind of stuff. And so definitely a lot of old money kind of feel that you guys get from it. Like I said, the buildings are very old school here. They're not skyscrapers, but they are very well done. There's a lot of engraved kind of columns that have been intricately decorated with like different filigree, and you get kind of some areas you get almost like a Greek Roman vibe from it with the way that the columns and the architectural arches are. Lots of stone, marble, all that kind of stuff. That's what you kind of really get from this area of downtown. And so you go into the main place here. The streets are much more narrow, again, because it is an older part. And so this is like a one-way kind of like cars driving down only fit one way. So they've turned it into a one-way road. And then there's the sidewalks on either side. And so you walk here to the watchmaker. The watchmaker shop is called Rosenberg's Watches and Clocks. And the windows, again, like I said, I described before, but the windows display a lot of hand carved from wood grandfather clocks. There's some more intriguing looking watches, but not from what you can tell so far, there's no like pocket watches that are on display in the front, like facing out towards the street. But this is at least a good start for you guys, because there is, maybe they'll be able to tell you if this watch has been made by them or someone else they might know. So feel free to go in.
All right, guys. Let's see if we can find out if they made this watch, who they sold it to, and anything else they can tell us. Try not to be too weird, Doc, unless things get weird, in which case be really weird.
So I'm to stay quiet unless things get weird, and then I should get really weird.
Just be yourself. No, don't be yourself. If things kick off, be yourself. Jack, try not to prick your finger, honey.
Or smolder, May
Don't do
not be
that.
the appropriate situation for a smolder.
Could be, though. You never know.
You don't know that.
Use your best judgment.
Has
Use
the
Gibbs'
prick
best
healed up?
judgment.
Has the new prick healed up?
Has my finger gone back to normal?
Oh yeah.
I would actually like to conduct some experiments on you at some point, Jack, if that's
No.
possible.
No.
You could hold the
No.
secret
No.
to great
No.
healing.
No.
He's not wrong.
You're not afraid of needles, are you?
No, I'm afraid of you.
You plus needles? Yeah, that sounds scary.
You take me aback.
I mean, I'm sure Dr. Shaw has
Taking me
your
right back.
safety in his best interests.
Are you sure?
I think.
Are you
Maybe.
sure?
I am very sure.
60% sure.
I'm Dr. Shaw.
50% sure.
Are you listening to him
That
here?
line all the time. That's like his branding. Come into his office. All right, Dr.
These are some
Shaw,
nice
that's-
watches. I think I should get myself one. I think I have
Yeah,
some
oh.
outfits that go really well with.
Dead girl. Let's focus on the dead girl.
I think it's
And,
pretty impressive that my finger is fine again. You saw it, you stabbed it. And it's fine again.
Yeah, it means I can stab it again
I mean, you
sometime.
yeah, I mean, you may not have wanted to let Gibbs know that he seems to want to hurt you a little bit.
I don't understand why, though.
Just a little bit.
Would you be amenable to me removing a limb or a digit?
What the fuck?
Is that the look that Jack
You
is
don't
giving
just-
Shaw?
You don't just say that shit. Shaw, you can't just ask if you can take people's limbs off.
Didn't we
Well,
just
yeah,
ask him
maybe-
not to be weird?
We could wait to see if it starts to heal or
God.
regrow, and if it
She's
doesn't
walking into
regrow,
the
we can
store.
reattach it.
That's quite a... No. Okay. Let's just go inside. We can
Can I
just
have a
table
peek
this
at that
discussion.
book, please?
She's
You know what?
already inside.
You
Can I
know what?
request the
I'll
police
text
detail?
you about it.
Okay.
To be clear, is this the sort of thing I shouldn't say inside?
Yeah, try and just keep that whole limb removal stuff to a minimum. That's just a general bit of advice for you.
Noted. Thank you.
All right. Head inside to see.
Okay. So you head inside, and there are so many clocks and watches everywhere. The floor to ceiling, you got the walls lined with different styles of grandfather clocks. There's all the kind of the jewelry cases that have all sorts of different types of watches. Then you start to see the pocket watches as well. There's some more there's women's and men's watches, so some that are kind of designed more to be less practical and more in tune with the whole fashion bit of watches for those who wear watches for fashion to match their outfits kind of deal. So very much more of an accessory versus functionality where you can't really see the numbers. It's just the hand that kind of goes around and you have to guess exactly where it is kind of deal. So there's, like I said, it's just a lot. And the shop is actually relatively large because everything is spaced so as to not feel very cramped, especially because the grandfather clocks are so big. And then there's also smaller clocks that are kind of lining different shelves. Some of them look much more traditional in fashion, and others look more modern and artistic. So very different tastes and styles throughout the entire shop. But definitely, you do get a very distinct feeling of wealth when you walk in. A very much the place not only is full of very complex and intriguing things, but also just the physical presence of being inside this area, you get the feeling of wealthiness, and this kind of aura of almost pride, if that can even really be described as a feeling. But it's just very much when you meet somebody who has a very strong personality, it's very much similar, but you haven't met anybody yet, and you walk into the shop and you get that A-type personality kind of deal. And there's a woman that's sitting behind a counter, and she's doing something with a watch or a clock. You're not really sure if you can't see from the angle that you're at. She's an older woman. She has some graying hairs that she's got pulled up and back into a loose bun. Some smaller glasses with the beads that connect so that if she has to take it off of her face, it doesn't fall down. Her attire is clean and pretty simple overall. She's wearing kind of a red sweater, and that's about as much color as you're getting pretty much out of the whole entire place. Everything else is very much silver, gold, that kind of deal. So for her, she's wearing this red sweater. And the door, as you guys open it, does have that little jingle with the bell to indicate that somebody's walked in. And she doesn't look up, but can I help you?
Yes, excuse me, ma'am. My name is Detective Gibbs. I'm with the police.
Oh, a
and we're,
detective.
That's right, yeah. Who might be your name? What might be your name?
Oh, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you.
Sarah, pleasure. I'm hoping you can help me and my companions out here. We've got a watch that we've come across. It's important that we know if you guys made it, and if you did, who you sold it to and when. I'm gonna kind of push the watch across to her.
Well, all right. Let me hold on.
Don't worry, you're not in any trouble.
Aaron, there's a policeman here to see you. Give me a second. He's been working. He gets up, kind of a little hunched over, and kind of holds her back and straightens up and starts walking out. And about 30 seconds later, a man, very, very tall man, walks out. He's got a three-piece suit on, very well kept. His hair is very dark, but has this slight glimmer of like blue to it. Kind of strange, but it's not dyed, but it definitely has like a little bit of that like cooler undertone. And he walks out. He's clean shaven, doesn't have any facial hair, but he does have kind of like sideburns almost a little bit here. And he walks out standing very tall and straight. And he says, "Thank you, Mom," and then kind of turns back to you and walks forward to the desk, or the counter rather. And he looks to you, and what can I do for you?
Mr. Rosenberg, I presume.
That would be me. That was my mother's. Sorry, she's a little loud sometimes.
No worries. I was hoping you could help me out. I'm with the police. These here are my companions. We're investigating a case, and we'd like to know more about this watch that looks like you guys made.
All right. Would you mind if I took a look at it?
By all means.
Place it here. And he kind of like opens up this this velvet kind of padding, like you normally would put like jewelry on, and he puts it down and looks at the watch. Oh, it's broken. I see. Kind of look before touching it. He kind of looks it over, staring very intently. Gets like a magnifying glass essentially, and starts like going to the clock and looking through. Well, it's very, very, very well made, but I'm afraid I haven't been the one to make it. Though you can't say. Perhaps maybe if it's old enough, maybe my father did. It's very unique. It's a shame it's broken though.
Yeah, it is. You wouldn't have records dating back that far on whom this was sold to, would you?
Probably. My father was very, very good at bookkeeping. If you could give me a few minutes, I could take a look through and maybe have my mother help me. It might take some time though, because I have to look through a ways back.
It's okay.
Would it be all right if I disassembled it?
I don't see why not, if that would help, yeah.
Well, sometimes the makers may engrave. We engrave on the inside. So.
Okay, yeah, no, absolutely. Just be aware it is evidence in part of a case, so...
of course. I can put it right back together, so it's not a problem.
Thanks. No, of course. I'll slide over one of my 3 remaining cards that were printed in like 1996, and slides them over. His number hasn't changed since then. And you can give me a call.
Great. You didn't want to wait?
How long is it going to be? I mean, we talking?
To disassemble it, I could at least know whether or not there's an engraving. That would take but a few minutes.
Oh yeah, no, we'll stick around for that, by all means.
Right. Yeah, so let me get my mother started on. Yeah,
Thanks.
feel free, you guys. So yeah, he's gonna momentarily walk back, kind of lean out, and we can hear him calling to his mother. And he kind of gives her a description of this stopwatch or a pocket watch, and then comes back over, takes some tools out from a drawer, places them on top, and starts. This is finally the first time he actually touches this watch. He flips it over. And do you guys want to make an investigate to see if you have any inclinations from this guy, or even in the surrounding area? You guys are welcome to do so, as he's going to be taking part into something.
You guys go ahead. I'll be right back.
Can I do like an insight check to see if he was lying about knowing?
If you get a successful investigate roll, you can ask me specific questions. So it's a little bit different, I know, but yeah. You just tell me what you're using out of your themes to have this kind of insight.
Okay, so I'd be using it's easy to talk to / friendly or befriending people.
Okay.
And I think that's it. All I could use.
Okay.
So I would roll 2 d6s.
Plus your power. Yep.
And my power would be. Oops.
How many tags did you use?
2. So plus 2.
Okay.
8.
Yeah, an eight gives you you can have two questions, and also let me double check that I don't miss anything. Oh, okay. You can choose the following options from this. Your investigation may expose you to danger, or that the clues are going to be incomplete.
Okay. Would I say that he was bluffing when he agreed to help us?
Are you choosing the possible danger or the fuzziness on this?
The danger.
Okay. So you prefer more complete clues. Okay, so yes, it appears that he is definitely not telling the full truth, and his motivations might be compromised.
Okay.
That's question 1, and I'll get one more question.
Cool. Does he seem dangerous?
Ask me more specifically what you mean by that.
Okay. I was gonna say if he was like part of a mafia, but that wouldn't be as, I guess, real.
I mean, that's a very specific question. If you want, I can answer that, but that's more of like a yes or no. So I would probably encourage you to ask something a little bit more open-ended.
Criminal contacts, underworld connections, that kind of thing, maybe?
Yeah. Does he have any criminal contacts?
Let's see. I'm gonna try to give you guys something that's relevant. You know what? With that question, I will actually point you as you're kind of observing the area around you, because obviously you're not asking him outright. You have criminal contacts. You notice that even given how good business he could potentially have, like even if he had really high paying clientele, it wouldn't have made sense for him to appear as wealthy as he is. And that could potentially indicate either criminal or mafia ties, or maybe even something deeper than that. So it's hard to tell. Like, I can't give you exactly like he is in this mafia or he isn't, because you couldn't really get that from just an observational investigate. But
the dude launders money somehow, by the way.
Yeah, the money cannot be possibly this good in making watches. Is what you definitely get, and it's not like one of those like, aha, side drug dealer kind of internal comments. It's definitely one of those like, no, seriously, like there's no chance even like that this could happen. So yes, that is kind of where you get that feeling from. If anybody else wants to investigate, you're welcome to do visual observational type of investigation. You can even talk to him and ask questions. It's just a matter of how you want to go about digging into that information.
I have a quick question. How old does this guy look?
He looks to be in about his like early 40s.
Okay.
He's not. He hasn't aged poorly by any means whatsoever. He has very minimal like wrinkles. He's got some around the eyes, but overall his skin is actually really well conditioned. He appears very hydrated, as Shaw might actually observe. His skin is very like, it appears soft. There's like no dry spots or anything like that. No obvious signs of skin damage. So like kind of those immediate things. I'm saying that because Shaw would, given how attentive he is to details, he would notice this right off the bat. So, yeah.
I must commend your health regime.
Ah, thank you. I have to make sure to take care of myself so I can take care of my mother for as long as she is here.
Yes, you are a splendid specimen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love how awkward Shaw is.
Didn't we ask him not to be weird until things got weird?
Making small...
Anybody else want to do some investigations here? The worst you can do is fail and nothing bad happens, so I'm just going to put that out there.
Can you, I don't know, ask around some of his contacts, some people he knows, what they know about this store? Like, could
I'd
that
like
be his
to-
investigation?
Yeah, to team up with you on that one as well, and just ring up the fences, Robin and Robert.
Robin and Robin.
Robin and Robin, sorry, yeah, whether or not they know this guy.
Okay.
Which would probably confirm. Presumably, we're like conferring in the corner while he's looking at the watch. So what Lina
okay, not suspicious at all. Okay.
Oh no, we can text in the group chat. There we go. Group chat texts us again.
All right.
Except for
cool.
Shaw, who's not in our group chat.
He's just
Unless, like, one of you's added the code to the group chat, and every time it goes up...
Yeah, I'd definitely type in, like, I have a bad feeling about this guy. Something's not right.
Okay. Anybody else do anything before I switch to that particular scene? No? Okay. Okay, so Shiyu and Gibbs, you guys send your respective texts to your contacts. Give me, each of you, separate investigate rolls.
Okay.
Oh, I
Me
need my
again.
character sheet. So-
I am going to use contacts in every neighborhood.
Okay.
Names open doors. I think that's it for pluses. I think he's possibly contacting some people where his weakness tag, disgrace to the family, might hurt him. So a +1 then.
Yep.
I can't.
Don't forget to
think of
mark
anything else
attention
then.
on the theme you use with this from.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I use my... Oh,
That's a 5 total.
Those ones, guys. You guys have all rolled ones today so far.
Yeah.
Oh, except for Anna's latest one.
Yeah. Okay. Could I use my gunman's intuition on this guy? whether or not he's got, maybe owns a gun, some kind of, or just like, I know shady people when I look at them. You know, like that guy, you know, the kind of policeman's intuition where you drive past a guy and they look and like, that guy's got drugs. And you're like, how the hell does he know that?
Yes, if you're going to investigate the area. No, if you're looking to do the contacts thing.
Okay, then I want to look into the contacts, so let's not use that. I'm going to use my new tag. I wrote this down somewhere. My contacts.
Oh, the informants thing?
Informants, yeah.
Okay.
And criminal records. I'd probably call up and see if we got anything on this guy. And the police badge, because it's police work.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. 3. Any weaknesses you want to play?
The only one I think of is maybe overworked, because he hasn't really gotten any sleep recently.
Got it. Okay, so 2.
So he's already gotten 2. Got 2 of these.
Nice roll. Good roll.
11.
Okay,
Boom.
awesome. Yeah, make sure you you also mark attention to that theme book. All right, so with an 11, that's a really good roll. I'm gonna give you some like very specific and pointed clues. Since you did roll over a 10, you'll have 3 clues rather than just 2. So go ahead and ask me 3 specific questions that you would be able to get information from your contacts on.
Okay. So with the informants, the Robin twins, I'd ask the nature of how they know him. You know, how do you know this Eric Rosenberg?
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. They almost immediately get back to you as soon as you say Rosenberg. It was like, you know, like you have like the little dots when somebody's typing a message. You can see that the moment it pops up, and they're like, that guy has way too much money. And then like the other Robin jumps into the chat and is like, yeah, he loans people money all the time down here.
Oh, okay. So loan shark
Very
in
good
the
question.
underworld. Interesting. Any previous? Or is he squeaky clean?
So any prior, no, he literally has no criminal record whatsoever. Like he doesn't even have a freaking parking ticket. Like this guy is super squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Model citizen, so to speak. Yep.
Slime ball. Okay. Next, this is exactly the guy that Gibbs has been trying. It's kind of guy he tries to nail, but you can never get these guys because they got lawyers and they just lawyer up. Second one, friends in the police, because Gibbs is not trusting his own organization. Does he like have dinner with the police commissioner, every Friday or something like that?
Yeah, not the He is known to have been associated with a lot of the higher ups in the city. We're talking mayor level kind of people. Definitely the elite socialites of the societal kind of area there too. 100% without a doubt, though the name isn't mentioned, would definitely have some kind of ties with the commissioner. Or at least some kind of leverage because of his ties to the mayor.
Yeah. Okay. I send screenshots in the group chat because this is the world we live in. And I just send this information on to everyone. And I'll kind of, I'll just show Shaw on my phone. Because he's fucking...
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, and, send these screenshots and be like, this guy is bad news. We can't touch him.
Are we thinking he's like us?
Yes. He's a loan shark in Cammy's place. He loans everyone money down there, which is probably how he controls a lot of them.
But I mean, he's right there. I could touch him.
No. I mean, like,
Metaphorically.
metaphorically touch him. He's untouchable. You've seen the Untouchables, right? Okay. Have you seen? He's gonna go through like a list of pop culture references until finally he just explains the whole thing. He's friends with the mayor and the commissioner. We can't step on any toes. He just lawyers up and weasels himself out of the situation. These guys are the high ups.
Well, I agree if we get caught, but as I mentioned earlier, I have a safe house.
What are you suggesting here, Mr. Shaw? We can't just abduct people and take them into your fucking creepy room. I mean, there are laws that we have to follow here.
They're not playing by the rules, Mr. Gibbs.
I recognize that, but that's what sets us apart from the bad guys.
Of course. Excuse my interruption.
No. Well, either way, we need to be careful with him. If this guy's involved, and it seems to me like he might be, if there is a cover-up going on in the police, this guy's got the money to pull it off. Or if not, he's still got the money to kill a girl and for no one to care. Certainly if Anna knew something, she's scared enough of this guy to not want to talk to me. And probably the same goes for a lot of people down there. If they owe him money, they probably owe him more than just money now.
So, should we play it cool and act like we don't know anything?
Yeah, we're friends. The police, we're looking into this case. We don't really know anything. It's just gonna wrap up pretty soon. Maybe we'll call back, but play it dumb.
Do you have any of the names of loan companies there on your phone?
I could find some. You heard of Google? This great thing my daughter showed me the other day. You can type it in and you can find things.
I never
hurts
misplaced
a little
things.
bit to hear you talk like this.
It's like a criminal database, but on your phone for non-criminals. Like a database.
So what purpose? When I want something, I go to where it is located, labeled. Or if I need to learn something, I'll go to a dictionary or an encyclopedia.
It's like all of those things, but I don't have time for this. Doc, I can find you the name of loan companies. Likely this guy works through a bunch of shell companies, like Smith and Jones Limited. And they just do all these transactions through these, fake companies. That are actually like somewhere in the Cayman Islands, like these tax havens and shit. So you can never really pinpoint exactly who owns the companies.
I just have a passing interest.
Okay. Yeah, don't loan any money from this guy. Okay, this is a bad idea.
Yes.
There's a long look between the two of them, because I know that he's had financial problems. From having looked him up, I say there are other ways of getting money. You don't want to get yourself into any trouble that you can't get yourself out of, Doc. I'm happy to overlook the side stuff, but this is dangerous.
Yes, there are lots of reasons to be afraid.
Yeah, well, okay, guys, think about this. And this might be outside while we're, in the street. At this point, like, Gibbs will use the excuse of getting a cigarette to go outside. Think about this. We're trying to figure out why this girl died, right? We could never figure out why Harper's died. This gives us a possible motive why. Now, if she owed Mr. Rosenberg a lot of money, and she wasn't paying up, couldn't get the money in time, eventually they're going to start breaking things on you. And this might be a message, you know? If you don't pay up, you're going to find yourself dead in an alleyway. It's the kind of thing that gangs will do to send messages.
So, do we think he did this, or like hired
Well,
someone?
not himself. I mean, he's squeaky clean. No certain, not even a parking ticket, you know? But no doubt he controls a lot of other gangs and has influence there. Maybe the girl Anna at the club knows more. But yeah, he either got someone to do this, or maybe he has powers in the weird mist shit to make people do stuff. I don't know. But it gives us a motive. That might be why Hopper died.
Do we want to investigate him? You're going to kill yourself smoking those things.
Right. Yeah, okay. He like flicks out the cigarette. And he's like, yeah, I think it's certainly worth looking into, but like I say, we gotta do it on the sly. If they catch a whiff of, you know, that we're looking into him, then he might become untouchable. So we play nice and friendly cops, just looking to do the right thing, but we're actually really dumb. We don't know anything about this guy. We don't know what this weird myth stuff is, and we know he's friends of the commissioner, so we're just doing a favor for the commissioner.
Got it.
But on the sly, you guys use whatever contacts you've got to find out more about this guy.
Okay. I know some rich people. Will that help?
Rich people often have money or have taken loans before.
Sure.
Maybe.
Okay.
They also have
I
fancy
am
watches.
rich people.
We'll do she scene in a second here. Yeah.
But yeah,
I wanted to.
Good.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that was all I was going to say. You know, Gibbs is probably just lets everyone know that this could be dangerous, and then heads back in.
Okay. Yeah, so what I wanted to do was the viewer decision here is Jack is going to stumble on something as he's walking around the shop. What does he find?
What does Jack find? Write some ideas in chat there,
The
guys.
watchmaker shop.
All right. Cool.
All right, cool. I'll let that go while we do she used stuff. So you didn't get anything on your roll, but one of your friends from like your socialite days messages you back and is like, why are you in that part of downtown? And like is trying to prompt you for a discussion. Do you respond?
Yeah, I would say that I'm looking for a new piece to put on my wrist and looking for some recommendations, you know, and I saw this place and they had some pretty nice watches. And I was just wondering if anyone knew anything about this place, you know? Was it like, you know, quality, reviews, you know, hit up that hashtag.
Social mediaing it up. Okay. So it takes a little bit. This person like replies with like cell phone screenshots of like watches that they have. Mm-hmm. Just like 15 to 20 of them, and they're all different. And just spamming your phone like every 5 minutes with new pictures.
Oh, okay. Got plenty of selection, buddy. Thanks. Thanks.
All right. I don't know how much time we want to give the VD stuff, so I'll like maybe like another few minutes.
Give it a couple more minutes. Get some ideas in.
Okay. All right. Cool. Dr. Shaw, would you like to do anything while you're here? Gibbs is having his thing. Shiu's phone is blowing up.
So I suppose if we're heading back in after the cigarette conversation, he'd stand sort of uncomfortably close to watch the handiwork with the watch.
Okay. Do you want to investigate?
Yeah, why not? Let's see if he's really good at what he does.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I'll investigate. I have to roll for that, right?
Yes, yeah, just let me know if there's any power tags you want to apply.
Yeah, I think I can use organized mind and either anatomical knowledge or steady hands to like assess him, but I'll also use my disassociation as a definite disadvantage that I'm standing uncomfortably close.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll give you a 2 on that instead of a 3. Plus 2. And then mark attention to the theme. That. Thanks. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's slightly better than Shiu's roll. Honestly, you think this guy is like a savant. Like, he's got the steadiest hands you've ever seen. He could have been a good surgeon if he hadn't picked such a crappy career making watches kind of deal. Like, that's your line of thought, essentially.
Your hands are very steady.
Well, they have to be. These gears are very delicate sometimes.
Perhaps they would have been better holding a scalpel.
Were you a doctor?
Yes, a surgeon. Dr. Hezekiah Shaw, at your service.
Well, you know, this is kind of like surgery on watches.
Would you care to show me the intricacies?
Well, sure. As he like kind of flips the glass off of the top here of this watch, and he's using these small tweezers to kind of move little bits and pieces around. Once he had removed the backing of where the numbers were, you see more of that that moon and sun kind of theme inside. It's not for you. It doesn't make sense because it's impractical. There's no like actual usage of those areas, like because they're never actually seen unless you were to actually open the watch. And so inside, like again, the moon and sun are there, and you know the moon's on top where it would have indicated it was nighttime when the watch was broken. But it's almost like there's constellations that are like embedded as part of that kind of moon theme inside of the watch. They're slightly obstructed by the gears as he's kind of pulling things away and moving things, but it's very evident to you that there's constellations.
So I'll wait for a moment when he's not picking up like a gear or something delicate and he's like either putting it down or something like those images on the inside. Would they have been designed for your eyes only? What is the point?
It's not uncommon for an artist to leave their signature.
And you're familiar with this signature? Do you have a signature yourself? I do not leave a pretty picture on the inside of an organ.
I don't leave these dots. No, it's not. It's not the Rosenberg signature.
May I see the Rosenberg signature?
Why don't you do a convince roll for me?
I've got nothing. If anything, probably I'll take a -1 for disassociation again.
Okay. Maybe you'll roll 2 6s. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Not too bad. Wow.
Nice.
Okay. So he hesitates, and then he has a slight glimmer of like intrigue in his eye when he like locks onto yours, almost uncomfortably, in the same way that you're uncomfortably close to him. And he kind of trails off, and like without really even breaking eye contact, again reaffirming this distinct eye lock with you, he kind of reaches into the drawer and pulls out another like a kit, it looks like, of some kind. If you glance away, you'll notice that there's a kit of watch parts that have been left out as if they were in the middle of repair or something like that. And he kind of places it down in front of you. and he uses the tweezers. Now he has since, if you had not dropped your eye contact, he has since dropped his eye contact and taken the tweezer and kind of pointed towards where his signature is. And it looks like a butterfly.
So if he looks back again, Shaw's still keeping eye contact, and when he comes back in, he will just sort of say, "Could I borrow your eyeglass?"
Of course. And he kind of places it down next to on the velvet padding.
Thank you. And Shaw will take a look. Just
Okay.
observing it,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. It looks like a finely engraved butterfly.
I appreciate you revealing this to me.
Of course. It's readily available if somebody were to disassemble any of my clocks or watches.
Don't they need to be suitably colorfied to do so without severely damaging it?
Yes.
I mean, you have steady hands, but I would not let you operate on me.
I see what you're saying, but once the clock or watch leaves my hands and my building, I have no control over what the owner does with it.
A pity. Your talents are wasted.
Well, family business. Kind of like destiny.
So Shaw will sort of like see this is the end of the conversation, and he will like thank you again. Then walk over to Gibbs and be like, I like him. I think he's okay.
Yep, that's what worries me, Doc. That's what worries me.
Okay.
He showed me his butterfly.
Oh boy. You guys are really hitting it off, aren't you?
It's the inscription on the inside of his watches.
Mm-hmm. A butterfly. Interesting. You get anything else?
I like him.
Yep, got that. Got that. Well, I wouldn't recommend that you hang out too much with friend Rosenberg there, after what we know about him, huh?
Yes, I agree. I would still be willing to interrogate him should you require that particular service, but I just wanted you to know that he seems an alright sort.
I'll keep that in the back of my mind, Doc. It's the ones that seem like they're alright that you gotta look out for. Because they seem nice. Like you. You seem nice, but at the same time, you could be very dangerous.
Yes. Perhaps. And Shaw will now look at Lina, Shihu, and Jack, like, as you said, as the ones that seem nice. He's like,
Awesome.
You just sort of gives him a little wave.
Gives him a kind of serious look and is like, remember, Doc, I've got my eye on you.
yes, a pleasure.
Awesome. All right, let's cut that scene and swing over to what was the result of our viewer decision.
It is a sentient watch that communicates in Morse. You asked.
Okay, Jack. I did. I wanted to see what chat would come up with, and they never ceased to not disappoint me. Okay. So, Jack, you're kind of walking around. You see this exchange with Shaw and Rosenberg, and you're like, creepy. And then, Shiyu's over there with his phone blown up, and Gibbs is kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? He's kind of like deeply observing everything that's happening. Very determined look on his face as you're kind of nonchalantly walking around looking at watches. Some things kind of look nice, like I could see myself wearing that kind of deal, like the usual, like when I'm a rich celebrity, I'll buy watches all the time kind of. And then I never actually wear them, but I'll have them kind of. As you're walking you get to the end of one of the rows where that's is separated between the grandfather clocks on one area of the wall and then the jewelry cases, and you hear this beeping, sort of like it's like a beeping, maybe a tapping of metal on something with like a slight electronic hum to it, and it's somewhere nearby. Do you want to do anything with that? You want to look for it, or are you going to ignore it?
Well, the weirdness over there means any distraction is wholly acceptable. So that's just gonna. What's that beeping? Let's go and find out what it is. So I'm gonna hunt it down.
Yeah. So it feels like it might be coming from one of the jewelry cases.
Are they like locked jewelry cases?
Yeah, they have like glass over the top of them.
Okay.
So you they're like display jewelry cases essentially, so you would require a lock to get into it. But yeah, you kind of like walk back down to get like to hone in on like what part of it you hear it best, and you get about halfway back towards the middle of one of the cases, and it's very prominent, and you can hear a slight like rapid tapping, then like preceded by like a pause, and then a long tap, and then a pause. Would Jack know what Morse code is?
He'd know what Morse code is. He wouldn't know
Not
Morse
what it sounds
code.
like. Okay, but would he like recognize it like from all the movies and everything that he's obviously watched? Would he know that it's Morse code?
He's probably been in a couple of films even that are set in like he's done stunt work for people who've been in World War II films and stuff.
Okay.
And there's been Morse code in that.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so you find it. You can see where you think it's coming from, and it's a watch, like a wristwatch. It's a men's wristwatch. Very nice looking. It has kind of, maybe you think it's either made out of like some kind of like not stained metal, but definitely like it's been treated, like the metal's been treated to darken it. It has this really interesting indigo blue sheen to it almost. And the watch the watch backing is also a dark, almost like an onyx color, with silver trim and letters or numbers rather, where the clock's hands are at 12 o'clock.
They're both at 12 o'clock.
Yep. It's not telling time, that's for sure. 'Cause it's not 12 o'clock.
Is there a like price tag on it?
No, none of the watches actually have visible pricing on them. Like none of them in the entire store.
I'm
I know you can't
gonna
afford them.
Huh?
I'm like
That's how you know you can't afford things when I don't have price tags.
I'm gonna observe it for a second just to make sure that it is actually doing some form of Morse code. And then
Yes,
when there's a
definitely.
when there's a break in the weirdness over there, I'm gonna kind of call over to Aaron Rosenberg and say, excuse me, do you have a second?
He kind of like looks up and he's like, well, do you want me to keep working on this, or do you kind of like almost looks to Gibbs like, what do you want me to do?
Well, what have you found, Jack?
I found a watch.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a coincidence, isn't it, in a watch store?
Right. No, I found a watch that I want to know how he does this. It's doing Morse code. I want to know how he did it.
Okay, how does the watch do Morse code? Please indulge my idiot.
Okay. Does Gibbs know Morse code?
He might know some basics.
Okay, pardon my Morse code noobness. The slashes are pauses or long beeps. I can't remember. Like, how does it, like the lines? Does anybody know?
I never went to school.
Anybody know more?
So you have like for example, I don't know any Morse code, but for example, like the dot dash and stuff, they spell out letters.
Yeah.
That's the basic Morse code. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know
I'm just
exactly
gonna say what it is, and I'm gonna say it once slowly, and I'm gonna let you guys or chat keep track of it.
Okay.
All right.
Boy.
There's like some spaces between this, so I guess that indicates like new words, I guess. So this is what you guys hear if you're listening to this Morse code coming through is a dash, dot 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 dot, space dot, or I guess pause, another long pause, dot 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 dot, pause, dash dash dash. Dot, I'm
like dot dot dash. Space, dot.
I'm not even like gonna. I'm gonna post this in chat for you guys.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Because I'm not saying all of that out loud. This is from a generator. I take no fault in errors associated with this. There's even a wave file that I could download. It's just hilarious. Anyway.
Well, Jack's gonna write down the.
Okay.
And you know, like he doesn't have a note. I don't have a notepad. I'm gonna put it in my phone. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it in my phone. Probably incorrect because you have to keep up with it. Is it like repeating the same message?
Yeah, it's the same thing over and over again.
Okay. So, I'll get that down in my phone.
Okay.
Do you have like an app which can translate it? There probably is Morse code apps, right?
There probably is, actually.
There probably is. I have a feeling I know what Jack's going to be doing tonight.
All right, so that's the Morse code bit that you get there. As Aaron kind of finishes up his disassembly of the watch, and it kind of looks upward, looking for Gibbs, who's now since walked over to that area. Is all right. Did you need me to get a watch for you, or what? What is?
No. He doesn't need anything. I try not to let him touch too much. We really don't have a lot going on for this case, so we figured we'd just stop by. I'm sorry to waste your time, Mr. Rosenberg, but is there anything you could tell me?
I mean, it appears to be a relatively well-made stopwatch. The inside is definitely not our engraving, so I'm afraid that's not something that we've made, or that the Rosenbergs have made, at least.
Do you know who it might be? Are there other watchmakers around town who could have done something like this?
Let me think if there's any others, really. There's not a lot of people who make custom watches.
No.
I might be the only one for a while, at least in the main city.
I know what it says. I text it to everybody. No, I wouldn't know what it would be. But me, it's Anna. Am I allowed to say what it is? Okay, it's Nope. Yes?
Up to you guys. Do you guys want to know what it is, or did anybody else look it up? I mean, I feel like if there was one person that would know it, it would be Shaw, because he's ex-military. Putting it there.
If anyone approaches him with the Morse code watch, he will translate. Assuming you do.
No, Jack isn't. Jack's keeping it to himself.
Oh, okay.
Him and Gibbs know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's let it be a mystery for now.
We can follow it up,
Yeah.
Okay, so he said other watchmakers. Okay. So there wouldn't be anything on the records for something like this, presumably.
Not really. I mean, all of the watches I make and that my father has made are in our records, but as far as others, You know, we
Okay.
record customers who come in for watch repair, even if it's not our own, but
Okay.
not anything like
Huh.
this.
Is there anything interesting about the watch? Is it different in any way, or is it just a standard looking piece?
I mean, it's like I said, it's very well made. Definitely not something that would be created by like a machine. It was definitely handmade.
Mate,
Yeah.
can I get a read on this? You telling me the truth?
Oh, are you going to try to do this as a cop or as something else?
I think he's probably using his sort of like cop intuition to see if, he's probably quite used to people lying to him, or trying to.
Then yeah, I'm gonna. I won't make you roll for it, but the most you're gonna get from this, unless you are gonna try to do something like change the game or whatever. But
Right.
definitely would be. There's more to the story.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what you get.
Yeah, his gut is telling him something. So, we'll say, thank you, Mr. Rosenberg. I'm sorry for wasting you and your mother's time. You know what it's like. When you haven't got any leads, you gotta follow up even the dead ones.
No worries. Maybe you'll come back for a watch or something sometime.
Yeah, I
never
like
know.
that. Maybe a birthday coming up. Don't think I could afford something from this place, so as.
Well, we would
they
be
don't pay us
happy to give you a city workers discount. He says kind of smugly, almost insultingly to you.
Oh yeah, no, that's nice. Thank you, Mr. Rosenberg, and again, apologies for wasting your time and for the idiot, but you know what it's like. You have my card in case you need me, but we probably won't be back anytime soon.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm here if you need any watches, and good luck with your investigation. Hopefully, you get something more valuable soon.
I don't think so. Just another Jane Doe turning up in the streets. What you gonna do? Plenty of new
very
crimes turning up.
unfortunate.
Yeah. Good.
Chiyu, you're going to be the first person to leave as you're kind of distracted by the text messages just won't stop. They keep sending you pictures. It's progressed from like watches to jewelry. It's now completely derailed off topic. There's like lattes mixed into that with like coffee and food. There's all sorts of randomness happening with your phone. Oh, you're muted.
That would help. He's like, I wasn't even asking for food. And he has to like at a certain point he has to like silence his phone.
Yeah.
Because it's been going
So as
ding.
as you're walking out, when you step out the door, some car kind of starts driving by, playing "Love Is a Battlefield" very loudly out the speakers, and it kind of shocks you back into reality. It's a very bright red Corvette. So that is what happens as you get back, and you kind of stop for a moment observing this. And Lina, you were walking right behind you, and we're expecting him to continue walking, but then he stops dead for no reason whatsoever, and you accidentally bump something next to the door as a mirror comes crashing down to the ground and shatters.
Oh, I can't afford that. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just feel shocked, and I look back at Aaron.
Aaron kind of like looks up and then pauses uncomfortably and says, "Don't worry about it," and then kind of goes back to what he was doing.
I can try to scoop it up.
She will turn out. Don't. I mean, I mean that we're just glad that no one was hurt. Don't worry about Lina. I mean, if it came down that easily, it's not your fault.
And I look back at Aaron like
He's not paying attention. But as you go to pick up and kind of like move the mirror like pieces aside, you get a glimpse into the reflection, but it's not you. It's something else. And it's kind of staring back at you, and it has this very much, it's a familiar feeling, but at the same time, it's very, very foreign to you. And the reflection kind of briefly pauses as it's almost like looking into like a TV screen where something is happening that's not a reflection of what you're doing. And it's this smoke, that black and purple-esque smoke that you remember from before. And then it just fades away again.
Do I know what kind of, I guess, edging the mirror had?
Like the frame?
Frame, yes.
Or like, oh, the frame, yeah. The frame was really simple. It looked like it was like an engraved wooden frame that was holding it.
Yeah.
The frame itself, almost as it was like the frame didn't break. It was like the edge of the frame like came off. Like, you know how they get nailed in on the corners there, and like normally there's like a glue or whatever in the middle. It seemed like it was either loose or something, and then that's where the mirror glass came like toppling out of it. And the bottom section of that frame is like on the floor as well.
Okay, and then so it just vanished, right? After I looked at it.
Yeah, but I mean the glass is still there from the mirror, but the actual vision within it is not there, and you see yourself again.
Okay. I'm gonna keep one of the pieces.
Okay. Yeah, Aaron's not paying attention, so he wouldn't notice you taking it.
Okay,
No.
perfect. I'll just put it in my bag.
Okay.
Stealth
In
mode.
D&D, this is where you'd make a dexterity roll to see if you cut yourself. Okay, I'm just kidding. You're fine. Okay. So, so Shiyu and Lina, you guys get out the door. Shaw, are you staying behind? Or are you going with them? What's going on? As everybody's leaving, kind of.
I would probably stand next to Erin until everyone else is pretty much out the door. And then extend my hand. It truly was a pleasure to meet you, Erin.
A pleasure. He reaches back out, gives you a firm handshake, locks eyes with you again, uncomfortably so. And
I too
Slight-
am
slight
uncomfortable around the common folk.
you're to be more
I'm-
comfortable the people you were with.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overstep a line.
Fine. Not
I
offended.
look forward to meeting you again. This is our first meeting.
It is.
Excellent. That is a good thing to know.
He like reluctantly, as you're trying to pull your hand back after having shooken his hand, he doesn't let go for like a split second. Have a good day.
And you, here is my card. I work in a surgery downtown.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw.
I'm sure I could show you the intricacies of a corpse the same way you showed me the intricacies of your watch.
There's a lot of similarities in more metaphoric ways.
Indeed. Again, a pleasure.
Have a good one.
and he will leave.
God, you two together are creepy.
Tension. The tension.
All right.
So creepy.
And then Gibbs and Jack were already outside with the rest as you guys watch Shaw finally make his way out of the shop. And you guys are all outside. And it is now slightly darker. Just slightly.
A little bit. All right. Well, we can think about heading over to the station. Because we got that coroner's report. Once it gets a little darker, maybe. It'll take us a while to get over there. You guys can go get dinner or something. I'm kind of hungry.
I could eat.
I would love some food. didn't eat anything.
I've been neglecting business a little bit the last 2 days. I should probably head over to the office, check in real quick, just make sure all my cases are taken care of.
Sure thing.
I'm probably behind on my to-do list.
Can you please get a phone? Can you put that at the top of your to-do list?
I'll call Pamela. Make sure she gets you one.
There we go.
I will consider this.
All right, let's break in. Let's meet back at the station in a couple hours.
Okay.
Go get dinner? No dinner, guys?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, we can grab something.
Alright. That's
Seems like
So
everyone
who's-
else is.
Yeah, who's doing dinner and who's not? I know Shiyu and Shaw are not.
I think.
Yeah,
I am.
Jack's gonna go to do dinner by himself. We'll get some food by himself.
By himself, okay.
All right, Lina, you know any good places? Because I sure as hell don't.
yes, I do. And I continue walking towards like the foodie area.
Yeah, you guys aren't too far away. You could walk it, or you could technically take an Uber, but it's a nice walk. It's not super late because it's not dark yet, so like the sun's still up. And downtown's relatively safe to walk in, especially the part that you're in. So it could be either way.
Yeah, I'd probably walk.
Cool. Gibbs, you get a text message saying that the protection details set up, and then you also get, did you know she is also an eyewitness? Question mark. In another case? Question
Yeah.
mark.
Kind of stop walking as we're going and say, "Hey, Lina, you're an eyewitness to another case."
Yeah, I was.
You want to tell me about that?
Sure. And then as I
I mean,
keep
because I'll look
walking-
it up if you don't.
Yeah. She'll definitely tell you about it. Well, I was walking home from work and I witnessed a guy getting stabbed.
Stabbed in an alley?
Yes. But it wasn't with like a knife or anything. It's like this guy's hand turned into this weird blade that had some sort of smoke on it. And now it kind of makes more sense.
Huh.
Now that we know that we have these weird things.
This wasn't by any chance outside your cafe, was it?
No. It was on my way home.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, well, that's good to know. Thanks for letting me know.
But can I...
Wonder if it's related somehow.
I feel like it might be, because after I went in for questioning and, to give my side of the story, when I arrived home, I felt like something was following me. And I turned around, and there was this weird hooded figure. And I think that it's following me.
someone's following you. Have you
Maybe?
you got an ID? Like see their face?
Not really. It was just.
Guy or a girl? You think?
It's hard to tell. It was just. Have you ever seen the movie Harry Potter?
Yeah, no. Kids love it.
Okay, it was kind of like a Dementor except with no face.
Fuck. Okay. Well, you know, when things are dark, it's easy to let your imagination go wild. You know, when you're walking back at 4 a.m. and you're convinced someone's following you. But I got the detail on your house, so should be safe. Just don't go anywhere alone, and you know, just be sensible. You got like a whistle on you or something?
I have this, and she pulls out like a little tiny pepper spray thing.
That's good. He'll like go into his car and like grab out some like standard issue like whistles and stuff like that he probably has just lying around, and just put it in a bag like full dad mode, you know. You look after yourself, but if you see any more of this guy, let me know, or report into the detail as well.
Well, I might have seen him when we came out of the club, and in the mirror that I broke.
In the mirror? But just now?
I got, maybe it was a magic mirror, and I'm not sure, but please don't arrest me for this, but I stole a piece of the broken mirror. She feels like super guilty because she's never stolen in her life.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe I could see where the thing is, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. Definitely doesn't work like that. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not in trouble. It's okay. So the guy that you saw in the mirror was the same one that stabbed this guy years ago?
It seems like it, yeah.
No, that's creepy. Okay.
I don't know why it would even be here, or see, this is the whole thing again why I don't want to have these powers, because usually stuff like this in movies, bad things happen.
Yeah, well, think
And I
about
just
it
wanna
this
be-
way. If there's shit going on that people can't see, and there are crimes that are being committed, like people being literally murdered, as we've got one dead girl, and this makes two, as far as I'm concerned, shady Dementor guy, and the police, we can't do anything about it, then how the hell are we meant to protect people?
I guess you're right.
And if we can see what others can't see, then we can do something to help protect people from whoever the fuck shady ring wraith Dementor guys out there are killing people. So you did a good job for taking the mirror. Maybe I can take a look at it and use my powers on it. You know, see if I can get a shot of the past or something. You know.
That could work. And she hands you over the broken piece.
I'll see if I can do anything with it.
Okay, cool. Let me do that scene in just a second. Shaw, you're on your way back, and you get another pager ping. As you are distracted, everything goes black for a moment as you feel some kind of fabric go over your head, and your body is being pulled backward by maybe one or two larger individuals as they scuffle you into some kind of a vehicle.
Can
They're
Shaw
not
fight
saying
back?
anything. I mean, he can try, but I'm not going to let you do it right now. And we're going to go over to Shiyu. You're on your way back to your place. Are you going to the charity, or are you going like home?
I'm going to the charity, I'm going to the charity offices. Yeah.
Okay. When you arrive,
Services
there's an envelope on your desk. It's just a blank white envelope, but the note is like slightly sticking out of it. Do you read it?
Yeah.
Okay. As you look at the note, it reads, "Leave it alone." No signature or anything. It's just like a handwritten note. Leave it alone. I'm going to leave that one for you. Jack, fantastic. On your area, you get to where for food? You're going alone, so.
I'd probably actually just go home.
Okay.
Make out like I'm going to some fancy restaurant and then be like, I'm going home for a microwave dinner.
Okay. Yeah, you get home and nothing eventful happens right now.
If I can very quickly,
Yeah.
Jack wants to know about Morse code. So can I use the quick study to?
Oh yeah,
learn?
100%. I'll let you have that scene. Yeah. So you look it up. It says the hourglass. And that is going to be your scene. As we transition back to Lina giving Gibbs a piece of the mirror. The camera, it's almost like it pans into the mirror as it looks at the shop of Rosenberg. And you can see people moving around inside. Rosenberg appears to be talking to his mother, maybe some kind of an argument. And you can almost hear something, but the vibrations are a little bit too heavy. And that's where we're going to end today's episode.
Rest.
Have at least one more free hour.
Yeah. That was awesome. Great stuff. Whew. Oh boy. Well, my friends, that's where we're going to end tonight's episode of the Larkspur sequence. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Yeah. I'm stressed, man, like, about fucking Shaw now. Like, I was like, don't be creepy. Don't be weird with the guy who will kill you. And he's like, come round and watch buddies with me. I'm like, no!
He's
Be opposite of what I said. Oh, but so good, man. I'm loving the slow burn of this one. And it was interesting, like, the beginning of this episode, I was like, man, we've got no leads whatsoever. Like, we're bad investigators, and now it's like, we found the dude who's gonna kill everyone. He's gonna eat us. Because he's just as creepy as Shaw, but we know he's evil. It's like, oh, you eat people, don't you? But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to check out the City of Mist. CityofMist.co is the website. I'll drop a link for you guys here in chat. If you want to check it out, you can get PDFs, you can get hardback books as well, for your own, slow and creepy noir investigative dramas. So real nice to change of pace from the D&D stuff. If you guys like a bit of Call of Cthulhu as well, quite similar to Latin pacing. Also, if you enjoyed the show, hit the follow button and join us. Stick around, because we've got the Trials of Baal coming up, the D&D game that you guys can join in and play D&D with us. So stick around for that. But let's go around the cast and crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find you guys online? Meta, great job in the MC seat tonight. That was more difficult to say than I thought it was. How did you find it?
Hey guys, I'm Meta Answer. I think that today's episode is really good. I've been kind of like itching to give you guys these clues, but I didn't want to just hand it to you, so I'm really glad you spent some time in the watchmaker's spot. And yeah, things are gonna get intense, I think, next week. So yes, I am gonna be looking forward to what happens with all of that for sure. But you guys can find me pretty much doing tabletop roleplay all the time. Just follow me on Twitter for all the announcements. That's the easiest way to keep track of what's going on rather than me listing my entire schedule. But I am going to be doing another City of Mist campaign tonight where I am a player and not the MC. And that's on Not So Speedrun's channel. So if you want more City of Mist and you've got nothing else going on, feel free to stop by and say hi.
Great stuff. Let's see. Anna, thoughts on tonight's session? Where can we find you online?
I had a great time. I'm glad that we have more clues now. So things will go down next week, I think. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, you guys can find me online. Places like Twitch as Cyborg Pizza or Twitter as Annaby Photo. I'm also part of a podcast called Wonder Quest with a bunch of awesome and talented ladies. Check them out on Wonder Quest Pod on Twitter. And also WebDM Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Central. Doing the Dungeons and the Dragons.
Nice, great stuff. Thank you, Anna. And
Oh, wait,
Tommy.
hold on.
Oh wait.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
And on Friday, I'll be on Scrat's channel at what time?
Sometime.
4
Yes,
p.m.
sometime.
BST 11. I don't know.
In the morning,
time.
sometime in America.
Follow him
Great
on
stuff. Alrighty, and nailed it. Tommy.
Great as always. The time always goes way too fast. I am excited and anxious to see what happens next week because things are getting turned up, and I have a feeling he's gonna have a lot of questions he's gonna need to answer for himself coming up here soon. But yeah, great as always. I am Imperator Pengu on Twitter. You can follow me there. I do some streaming of the Overwatches and D&D on occasion on Imperator Penguin on Twitch. Just follow me on Twitter. I usually announce there with links to everything I'm doing. I am also a cast member on the Undersided podcast, a 5e D&D actual play podcast, which we release bi-weekly. And there you get a little bit less creepy and just more shenanigans.
Amazing. Thank you, Tommy. And Sheepdog.
Hey, I'm Sheepdog. You can find me on Sheepdog Gaming on YouTube. I release videos daily. Too many to keep up with. And yeah, I really enjoyed the session tonight. I'm starting to find this extremely paranoia-inducing. Every time Metis does anything, you're like, is this something to do with me and my character? Is this... So I'm super paranoid every time. I've got no idea what's happening. I love it. It's brilliant.
Great stuff. Thank you so much. And Scraticus, who I remember this time around.
Thank you very much, Will. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I think it's fun playing Shaw because like all this weird like creep stuff like goes on like that like Sheepdog was saying and he's well into that. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah. It's great fun. Great fun. I'm Scraticus. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Twitch and Twitters. I do lots and lots of one-shots where I bring together pickup groups of all shapes, sizes, and people all around pretty much every day of the week at the minute. So, yeah, I'll put my links in chat. Come and check it out. It's good fun.
Great stuff, and yeah, great job tonight, everyone. It's definitely getting more and more paranoia-inducing. I do not trust anyone in the police force now, which is a problem. But hey, it's a lot of fun. You can join us same time next week for more City of Mist every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern when you can catch these shows live. They go up pretty much the next day onto YouTube. In case you want to watch them, there's a playlist there as well. I'll drop you guys a link. And we're going to head into our next game, the Trials of Baal. But until next time, my friends, try not to roll too many nat ones because we want to be here laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye! Alrighty. It is time for us to head into our next game, my friends, which is Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We are going to head into the next game. This is the Trials of Baal, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. If you guys want to come along and play some goddamn Dungeons & Dragons with us sometime, then you should do so, because it's fun, and you'll enjoy yourself. And then later on tonight, at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing the Skyrim role-playing game, Skyrim RPG, Helheim Unbound. I'm running a game set in that game system set in the Elder Scrolls universe. It's called Death of a Dragonborn. So 8 p.m. Eastern tonight in about 6 hours time. So we've got another 6 hours to go here. Wait, 3 hours? Yeah, another 3 hours time then we're doing that. We do have a quick break. Who plays D&D? Right, nerds? You will enjoy yourself. You'll have a very good time. But whilst we're on a break, because I have to go and I have to set up for the next show, get the viewers in, you guys will enjoy yourselves the second episode of Warhammer, Beneath Dark Boughs. In case you missed last night's session, you missed last week's, go back and enjoy us as we go and we fucking try and find out who are witches. it really doesn't matter exactly who the witches are, as long as someone gets burnt. That's the theme with Warhammer. And in 23 minutes time, we'll be live with our next show. So I'll see you guys then. Grab a drink, grab some food, and enjoy the Warhammers, my friend.